And good morning. As Sarah mentioned, my name is Thomas and I am the CEO of Copenhagen FinTech. Cold morning here in Copenhagen. And even though the studio actually feels like Singapore because it's probably 40 degrees in here, so we have a little bit of the Singapore vibe even here in Copenhagen on a cold morning. So as Sarah mentioned, I'm just going to change the slides here. So welcome also to our sustainable studio here in the FinTech Lab, where we host around 300 events, 2,000 square meters, right in the capital of Denmark, here in Copenhagen. 130 companies have been sitting with us during the past 4 years, and the ecosystem comprises of 280 FinTech companies working out of Copenhagen and the rest of Denmark. We run programs, mentorships, programs, and so on and so forth. So we are very delighted to host this whole day of sustainability, FinTech, and technology and partnerships. So from all of us to all of you, it is Christmas time. So, and no worries, by the way, I won't sing you Christmas carols. But we believe that we bring Christmas a bit earlier here in the form of a really interesting program, hopefully, that you will tap into and learn from and get insights from, hopefully. So, as I said, today's theme will focus on FinTech, sustainability, and partnerships. And we will have a lot of interesting speakers. I will go through that in a minute here. So we will start out, as you can see here, with the beginning and the welcoming here at 9. We'll move on with the opening keynote here from Kirsten Brosbøl, CEO and founder of 2030 and Beyond. Then we will move directly on to Cecilia Bornefeldt-Dahl, that will give her vision around how Europe can be leading the future, or if we're just caught in the middle. Then Kim Fournet, the CEO of Saxo Bank, will bring open banking and talk about open banking as fueling partnerships and sustainable investments. You will also see a really interesting panel where we'll be discussing how sustainable innovation and public-private partnerships can fuel the sustainable innovation agenda. Then we will move on to talk about partnerships, and from there on a keynote by Claus Holst, the CEO of SimCorp, one of the first and largest Danish pure FinTech companies. We will have a keynote. We will have a panel. And after that, our own Oliver Sjöstedt will host a demo session. We will move on and talk about financial technology as a force for good. We will talk about regulation as a driver for a sustainable future. And last but not least, we'll also have a discussion around how we talk about unicorns and also maybe how we eventually also start talking about impact and sustainability on a global scale. So hopefully a really interesting program that many of you out there will tune into, and we will be delighted to see you here in Copenhagen virtually. So, yeah. So I will give the word to the CEO of Ørsted.
Mr. Henrik Poulsen, CEO of Ørsted.
Thank you, Secretary General and Your Excellencies. Let me tell you a brief story about the transformation of our company. Our old business model based on fossil fuels had to be replaced by a new model that was environmentally and also financially sustainable. Therefore, we made a wide-ranging decision to start shifting the entire business away from fossil fuels towards renewable energy. Our CO2 emissions are down 83% compared to 2006, and by 2025, our production will essentially reach carbon neutrality. Our journey over the past decade hasn't been easy, but it has been necessary. and Ørsted is today a global leader in offshore wind. It is now cheaper to build offshore wind farms than developing new coal or gas-fired power plants. The same, by the way, is true for onshore wind and solar energy. This is a major breakthrough for the green transformation. The renewable energy technologies that we need to fundamentally transform the energy system and radically reduce emissions are at our disposal, and they are cost efficient. When governments around the world set ambitious targets and enact clear policies, the private sector can and will further accelerate the build-out of green energy. If we cannot get this done, the 2-degree scenario is out of reach, let alone the 1.5-degree scenario. Business as usual is not going to be enough. We must act now.
I think Henrik puts it very well here. We must act now, and let that be the headline of today and today's discussion also. There's no doubt that we see FinTech as crucial in this context when we talk about sustainability, and we think that can be a true accelerator of the sustainable agenda and the 2030 goals. So with these words, that hopefully also leads up to why we think the Nordics are uniquely positioned into this space. You can see here, this is the performance by SDG. And as you also see here, we have the 3 Nordic countries, Finland, Sweden, and Denmark on the 3 first spots, Austria, and then followed by Norway. So we think the Nordics is uniquely positioned to do good in this space. With this, I will actually leave the stage again to you, Sarah, to introduce the next keynote speaker.